Politics and handcuffs are never a good combination. I'm Breasy, and there's a situation going on in Dallas, and I wouldn't want to be on either side of it. It all stems from the DWI arrest of Dr. Angela Graham on August 20th, 2021. She was pulled over after straddling the lines, and there's actual video of her doing it. Where the situation gets sticky is that Dr. Graham is the wife of current Texas gubernatorial candidate Republican Allen West. He's a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army. He also served in the U.S. House for Florida's 22nd District from 2011 to 2013. And he was the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas until he announced his candidacy on July 4th of this year. So as you can imagine, the knives are out. He is not taking this very well. He claims that he spoke to people that were with his wife the night that she was arrested and that she only had lemonade to drink.
Hey, greetings everyone. This is Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, and I gotta tell you, I'm highly pissed off right now. It's a little bit of about 3 o'clock in the morning. I got back to Dallas to find out that someone had arrested my wife, Angela, when she had my grandson, Jackson, in the back seat of the car and charged her with quote unquote suspected DUI. And now I'm down here at the Dallas County Jail. They won't allow me to see Angela. They're saying that there's nothing I can do. They will not allow me to see a supervisor. Angela, and I've talked to people that had dinner with her at PF Chang's here in Dallas. She had water and lemonade. But the thing that upsets me the most is that they took my wife, arrested her and brought her in jail and left my grandson with 2 Dallas police officers. Luckily, they were able to get in contact with our youngest daughter, Austin, who was able to go and pick up Jackson from 2 police officers on the side of the road. This is crap. Now, I support the thin blue line, but this is insidious. They put my grandson at risk, at jeopardy, left him with a couple of police officers, and carted his grandmother into jail when she had water and lemonade. That's what witnesses said. They were with her at dinner, water and lemonade for dinner. I'm beyond livid, and I'm telling you something. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office, the Dallas Police Chief, I want an explanation of this. I want to know who arrested my wife for a quote-unquote suspected DUI when she had water and lemonade and her breathalyzer test came up negative. I am pissed.
He demands apologies from the police chief of Dallas and the sheriff of the county. In a show of support and strong leadership, the chief of police in Dallas did a press conference. Here's what he said.
You know, what you witnessed and I witnessed in the further review of this certainly was not what has been depicted in social media. You know, listen, when we're wrong, and we will hold ourselves accountable. But no police chief can sit idly by while his officers get falsely vilified. False misrepresentations about my officers cannot go unchecked. They work too hard and they sacrifice too much. And so with that, we'll open it up to some questions.
DWI investigations are often very sticky situations. It's he said, she said in some instances. It's all got to do with the officer's perception and if there's probable cause to arrest or not. It always gets back to the driving. That's what the officer has to rely on. Whether she was DWI, time will tell. The blood results will come back. Either way, this should all be played out in court. The fact that the small child was in the back seat should be alarming to both sides. Colonel West claims that it was a travesty that they just, quote, left the 3-month-old baby on the side of the road with 2 police officers. Of course, the police claim they had somebody on the way to come pick the children up. In fact, it was the parents. They went out of their way to do that. And as a matter of fact, they could have called the Child Protective Investigative Team or whomever they use in Dallas to come take custody of the child and then make arrangements for someone to come pick the child up. They opted not to do that. I find it very hard to believe that Lieutenant Colonel West, as much respect for him as I have, is so enraged about the fact that this child was left with 2 sworn police officers. They were taking care of that child. The child was in good hands. I understand the furor of a grandfather and the confusion of what happened with his wife, but Lieutenant Colonel West is also an honorary member of the Blue Knights International Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club. So he of all people should know who to trust. This is about accountability. He's upset, and I think that he acted wrongly too quickly. Even the most ardent Republican supporters on his social media pages are swearing up and down that this is some type of setup to smear his campaign. You saw the video, you saw how she was driving. You also have available to you the entire field sobriety tests, as they call them in Texas, so you can make your own judgment. I don't think this was a setup at all. I think that the officer had probable cause to believe that she had been drinking. Whether she has or not, the lab results will show, and that's where it ends. In the court of law, not in the court of public opinion on social media. That's where people get hurt, and that's where reputations get damaged. We always judge too quickly before all of the information comes out. Yet another example of how misinformation spreads through social media faster than actual information spreads. Regardless of what happened, the officer had probable cause, and the department's gonna hang their hat on that. I'm Drew Breasy. I'm entitled to my opinion. Keep your eye on this one. And don't drink and drive.